Morning, George.
Hey, good morning, Phil. How are you today?
Fantastic. And welcome, everybody. Good morning. This is Saturday Morning with George and Phil. 22 minutes to help you become the best version of yourself. Whether you found yourself out of shape, struggling in a dead-end job, or job transition, we are your hosts, George Murray, Phil Connor, to help you move from where you are today to where you want to be tomorrow. We're glad you could meet us early this Saturday morning. We do encourage questions in the chat, so please put them in there and we'll try to answer as many as time allows. It's episode 21, and today we're talking about LinkedIn profiles. George, good morning again.
Hey, good morning. So we're on LinkedIn Live, and as every episode, we try to chat about a topic that is relative to folks, and we could not do so without the help of Thrivent Financial. Not sure if we've had technical difficulty. That's why we've been about 2 minutes late, but I can tell you that Thrivent this month is really focusing on helping you on your retirement. Do you know that there was a recent poll in the Yahoo Finance that 64% of Americans are not prepared for retirement? The folks at Thrivent and Skip can help you do so. All you got to do is go down in the lower right-hand corner if we can actually get our technology to work, or you can reach right out to Skip Nelson at Thrivent for a free consultation. You will not regret it. I didn't. I can tell you my career transitions, it's extremely important for you guys to make sure that your finances in order to realize and understand how long your roadway is in career transition. So back to the topic. I think our viewers are either contemplating a new job as we talk about the great resignation, or in full job transition. And the folks it's critically important for your LinkedIn profile to be on top of things. So how long Phil, how long have you had your LinkedIn profile?
Great question. I can tell you, George, that I first got interactive with LinkedIn back in 2008, 2009. I was using it as a prospecting and networking tool, but candidly, I did not do it well. As recently as 2018, I was actually considering unplugging from LinkedIn altogether. Now, fast forward to today, like you, I believe it's an essential tool for me when I'm networking. I always try to keep it updated and occasionally tweaking it to be relevant. How about yourself? When did you first get active on LinkedIn?
For me, I think it was probably too late when I needed to make sure that, I needed to be out there as far as marketing tool. And I think a lot of people have that same kind of situation where they're having challenges with getting a job or finding the right connections. And to me, it's so critical to have your LinkedIn continuously updated. So I would say that, even though it was in 2003 or whatever when the LinkedIn started, I think I was apprehensive until maybe 2007 when the economy tanked, and I realized that, hey, I need to do something different.
No, and so many people don't think about it till they need it, right? It's I think Harvey McKay once has a line about dig your well before you're thirsty, and so few of us do that. We wait until we actually need it before we start trying to polish it and brush it up. For our viewers that aren't maybe as savvy with LinkedIn, I think it's important to talk about what it is and what it's not. LinkedIn launched not really that long ago, if you think about it, back in May of 2003. And the platform's primarily used for professionals that are networking or in career development, and allows job seekers to post their CVs or resumes, and employers to post jobs, and recruiters to find those candidates that they're looking to place in positions. It's a great opportunity for the business community to connect, grow, and develop.
Nope, absolutely. And there's nobody better at making sure that your LinkedIn profile is pristine than none other than Ann Pryor. Ann, welcome to the show.
Hey guys, I'm happy to be here this morning. How are you?
Good morning, Ann. And viewers, if you don't know Ann's going to talk probably very fast and give us a lot of gold. She is a true treasure. Grab your notebooks, folks, because we're going to cover a lot in this short program this morning.
Oh, absolutely. So Ann, can you elaborate some of the things that you're well known for? What you talk about is looking great and being found on LinkedIn.
Thanks, George. It was a pleasure to work with you in your job transition searches. And you know how LinkedIn ebbed and flowed and adapted and changed. And really, friends, as both Phil and George were saying, that looking good is so important. And there are components of your LinkedIn profile. It's called the top card area. It's that area on the top where your banner is and your professional photo. And if you look at my LinkedIn profile, I just updated my picture and I just updated my banner and I just updated my professional headline so you can see what I currently look like. You see, I gained 35 pounds during COVID and then I lost 35 pounds. So I needed to get myself back up to speed. Now, George, when we worked together on your LinkedIn profile, you remember that when you were in job search, there was that green neck brace around your head. What did I tell you about that?
Not a good idea. Maybe initially for maybe a week, try it out, but not good.
Okay, good. So friends, if you're in job search, just like George said, you can put that neck brace open to work on for maybe a week or so, like we did with George. Some recruiters who are looking for contractors, freelancers, interim positions, or your first position, they're looking for that green neck brace because then it's like I'm raising my hand and looking for an opportunity. But if you've been in the job search for 6 to 9 months, remove that because it looks old and stale. So in that top card area, besides your photo and your banner, there's a professional headline. That headline is critical. Every word matters, and you get 220 characters, about 25 words. So the first words would be the titles of the jobs that you're seeking. So you heard me say, you better pay attention to the titles that you want, because I'm also a recruiter and I'm searching for those titles in your profile. And when you have those titles, you're going to get picked up in searches. The last part of that professional headline should be your brand statement, the what happens because of you, as our friend Kathleen Crandall says, or what do people really come to you for? And it also could include technology, skills that you might have, or industries. And then as we move down on that top card area, there's that open to work. Now, some of you on this call may be like me. I have a portfolio career or a gig life. I have 5 different jobs. And so I have the new marketplace services that is opened up. And in these marketplace services, you get to choose 10 different keywords that could be services or products that you do for companies or sell. So be sure to put those in. And the last piece of that marketplace is now you can get recommendations, like 20 recommendations in that area. Take a breath for a minute. Any comments there?
Yep. And those are all fantastic tips. Important for everybody to pay attention to, and I hope our viewers are taking notes. And if you're not, we're gonna launch this and post it at about 8:30 Central Time this morning, so you'll be able to view it again if you'd like to go over some of this content. But Ann, in your experience, and you've helped not just George and myself, but thousands of people across the country, if not globally, with their LinkedIn profile. What are 2 or 3 things that you see folks are not doing that they could do right now while they're listening to the show that you see often missing on a profile?
Mm-hmm. Number 1, in the about section, which is the summary section, the first 40 words are always the most important. So be sure to put in the titles of the job you're seeking or the title of job you have if you want that job going forward. And oftentimes I see that content is too much about you and not enough about what you can do for me. Okay, so rewrite that about section. You get 2,600 characters. The first 40 words are the most important. If you put in your email address, which as a recruiter, I like that you do, then I can find you easily. But if you put in your email address in that about section, be sure you change your password for your email and make sure it's strong, because I've been recently hacked and I want to make sure that you're safe. The second thing is, if you have not done it, make sure your current position has a job in it. This is critical because the algorithms are so high on this current experience area. So if you're not working and you have this to past, In other words, you don't have a job present immediately, put a placeholder position in that job, putting the title of the job that you're seeking and click it from the drop-down box. In the company line, you would put 3 job titles that you're seeking in 3 industries. And then in the description line, you would put the content like immediately available for COO, comma, Chief Operating Officer, comma, Chief Architect, comma, production manager positions where I can do this for these kinds of organizations. Contact me at. Okay. So those 2 things right away, about section and the current position.
And Ann,
So-
I know
so-
George, I'm sorry, George, I just have a follow-up. So the about section really needs to be not so much about the person, but about the impact or the value they can bring a prospective employer. Is that correct? Is that what I'm hearing?
That's right. So if you look at my about section, as a business owner, I talk about the 250,000 people that I have served and helped find great jobs and profitable business. And then I give 5 examples with results. So I'm really looking for results of what you've done in that particular space. Now, here's a tip. Many of us on this call may be wanting to switch industries during this time of the great, change. If you are choosing to do that, then I want you to add a paragraph that is a bridge paragraph. And it might say, as a former instructor and a COO, I aspire to leverage my skills in these things to change continuous improvement within healthcare. So did you see what I did? I added a paragraph bridging what it is that I do.
Great.
So it's not a good idea to put seeking new opportunities.
Not in that headline. And that's why I like you to use hashtags. You guys, hashtags are really important. I use them for search. I use them to be found. So in the new creator mode on LinkedIn, which is underneath your dashboard, if you turn on that creator mode, it's going to ask you, what 5 hashtags do you want to talk about? Now, while you're in job search, you're learning all these cool things, but you're not a LinkedIn expert. So don't say LinkedIn. What you would say is continuous improvement or Lean Six Sigma or leadership or those kinds of hashtags. You're found based on those hashtags. That's the creator mode. But remember, I just said in the area down below in the experience, your current position, I like to use hashtags either down below there, like hashtag open to work, or in the about section at the end, hashtag open to work, or hashtag hybrid, or hashtag remote jobs. So that's what you're seeking. And friends, a hashtag is a pound sign, which is above the 3 on your keyboard, kissing a word, no spaces.
Great tip.
Hey, so Ann, one of our good connections, Paul Mueller, is there a best day of the week to change your profile?
Mm-hmm. So friends, I change my profile Sundays at 3:30. I call it changing my oil. So I have a very disciplined and deliberate approach to my life. And when I worked with Stuart Emery, who collaborated with Jim Collins on Good to Great, he told me that the happiest people are the people who have done something in a disciplined and deliberate practice and approach. So like George does, you can see when he runs in the morning, when he posts, when he does this, those approaches are important. So Paul, Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Saturdays now are the best days to post. So if those are the best days to post, then I change my profile where people can see me when they log on between 8 and 10 on those days within your respective time zone. So Tuesdays, Thursdays, Saturdays, 8 to 10.
And you know what? They can also reshare this show today to get viewers and get recognized.
Exactly.
And we often hear you speak about tilling the garden. Can you tell us what that is? How can it help those in career and job transition?
Mm-hmm. So you see, I love flowers behind me, and I'm a soul painter. So tilling the garden really is planting those seeds. And, you know, I heard Oprah with this quote, luck is really opportunity meets preparedness. And if you guys aren't prepared, we recruiters can't find you. If you don't have the right keywords in your profile, if you don't know where you want to go or the titles of the jobs that you're seeking, if you don't continue to network and connect with people relevantly and meaningfully and add value, those are the tilling the garden kinds of things. Like Phil said this morning, Harvey Mackay wrote the book, you know, Digging Your Well Before You Need It. It's the same concept. So one of the tips that I share is I have an advisory board or an ID 66. So 66 different people that I connect with. And I comment and share what they say, what they do on a daily basis and reconnect with them on a monthly basis. And so, George, I know you've talked about your advisory boards. This is a really critical component because when you're going to pivot and shift, I go to those peeps first and I say, friends, this is what I'm thinking. What do you think about it? Lenny Newman is one of my top guys. Tony Rotundi. We just had a get together with the two of them the other day. I don't network in person yet, but I do every morning between 7:33 and 8:33 a.m. for free calls that you can call me and ask me a quick question. So I network with at least 4 people a day. And from that, I get 3 pieces of business and I always refer it out to somebody else. So thanks, Deborah, for your kind comment there. I'll turn it back to George and Phil here.
George, I've got another one for Ann. So we have our LinkedIn profile at an all-star level. How do folks make meaningful connections in that realm?
Guys, at an all-star level, you're 30 to 40% more likely to be found in searches. So the all-star level means you have to complete all the components of your LinkedIn profile. And I just want to pull something out about skills. Skills are really critical. And you friends on this call probably don't know this, but the skills that you have in your profile and that you have the most endorsements for these skills, you get pushed to recruiters' profiles higher in searches. So what I'm going to suggest today is you go to somebody's profile that you know, love, and trust, and you give them a shout out. You click the plus next to the endorsement. Before we have to go on my profile today, please go to my profile. You'll see my new headshot. You'll see my new banner. And in the featured section, which is new when you have the creator tool, I put in a special best tips sheet and a podcast that I did with 2 fabulous recruiters from Conic Recruiting that I want you to connect with. And I gave you more real cool tips from a recruiter's perspective.
Hey, Ann, Lenny was actually watching and he actually asked a question. Do you recommend culling your LinkedIn connections? And if so, how often?
I call my LinkedIn connections probably once a year. Now, a couple of things. If you are switching jobs or industries like Lenny did, he went from being a top CFO in corporations, public and private, to being a business development leader with a accounting and professional services firm. And he needs to call his connections because of the change in his strategy. But here's my trick. I never delete anybody until I check their connections to see who they might know. And the people that I might delete are the people that are retired and not going to be in the game anymore. But I never like to unconnect with somebody because I don't want them to feel bad unless there's something that just doesn't make any sense anymore. But what I am noticing is there's lots of bots that want to connect with you now out there that you have to be really careful about.
Well, those are fantastic tips, Ann.
You know, time does fly, Ann. You know, one last question, real brief, is what are some of the new features on LinkedIn that folks should be aware of?
Okay. So in that creator mode, when you turn that on, you get to put 5 hashtags underneath your big head in that top card area. In that big head area, you can actually do a live video. It's 30 seconds. And if you're going to do that, I would prefer that you do something like a public service announcement or a volunteer, not just sell yourself for your services. There are also the featured section. It's really important for thought leadership friends. So I want you to pull up a video, a thought leadership PowerPoint. Maybe it's a certification that you've most recently received. And the other thing I want to mention as far as a tool that I use. So today I just went out and I looked at hashtag remote jobs. You guys, there's 89,000 of them. Then I did hashtag hybrid, and there's about 17,000 of them. So the big idea here is you have to know keywords that are showing up in searches, new keywords for you to be thinking about. And if you're going to be doing some traveling or want to do global traveling, then you might want to put vaccinated on your profile. So LinkedIn has all kinds of new algorithms and new blocks that you can put content in. Check the settings. Settings are critical. New settings are out there too, George. The dark mode or the light mode to look at your profile to save your eyes.
Well, and it's always a pleasure. And I always tell people, strap your helmet on and strap your seatbelt when you're talking with Ann, because she's going to put 3 times as much, whatever time is, into that time as far as information. So again, I really appreciate you coming to the show today.
Good. Thanks, guys. We need your gifts out there, friends. We're here to help, and we believe in you.
Thank you so much, Ann. Ann is a true treasure, and she's been a tremendous help to both George and I over the last several years. And take her up if you feel that she can be of assistance to you. Take her up on those calls from 7:33 to 8:33 in the morning during the week. And George, are we able to share a slide?
Yes. So thanks, Ann. We'll talk to you later.
You can see on the ways to get a hold of Ann, Ann@priority.com. And I would encourage each and every one of you to make it a priority to connect, at least be able to. Ann does speaking engagements, both virtually and in person, all across the country. And if you ever get a chance to see her speak live, it's a phenomenal opportunity. She's truly a great resource when it comes to information about LinkedIn.
Agreed.
George,
and you know what? She's actually identified as one of the top 10 LinkedIn experts globally, so that takes a lot of work, expertise, and by far Ann is one of the best.
Switching gears a little bit, George, you've got a workshop coming up.
Yeah, as a matter of fact, with the success of the book, I've actually had some folks reach out to me and been teaching the class and helping people transition. So if they're struggling or they're contemplating a career transition, they haven't been out there in the market in the last 10, 15 years. This is a good 2.5 hour. We talk about value proposition statements, and also creating your networking roadmap for success and creating the wow factor. Those are just some of the things that we talk about. And that's coming up next Saturday. So all you got to do is go to Minneapolis Community College, sign up.
And Minneapolis Community Technical College has offered a lot of different courses that help people sharpen their saw. And certainly this course is no different. This is a great opportunity to be able to improve your skill set and land faster. Next episode, we're going to be October 16th. So in 2 weeks, we're going to talk about the importance of a mentor. And we hope you'll join us and right here on LinkedIn Live. Want to do a quick shout out to our transformation community. George started this going on about 1.5 years ago to help people that, as the pandemic was breaking. It's been a great gift. George, I don't know if you want to talk a little bit about how the transformation community has been helping some folks.
Yeah, briefly, there was a question. That last class is actual virtual. It's on Zoom. So all you got to do is sign up, take coffee just like here, and you guys are all set. Transformation community is ironic is I did it just before the pandemic, not knowing that was happening. But I kind of looked in the mirror and I said, hey, you know what? I've gained a couple of pounds. This is pre-COVID, right? And the focus was really to try to help more people get better. if it was a career transition, starting a workout program. And the group grew considerably beyond my expectation. I thought it was just a couple of people. We had, I think a high of like 60 people just helping, adding comments. What are they doing? Best practices. We had fitness people on there helping give us some insight. So it's really an effort to help people get better.
And in that same vein and getting better, a few episodes ago, we had a guest, Carrie Hobbs, who's a professional development expert and human resources professional. She's got a workshop coming up here in October that you do need to enroll by October 8th. And it's a great opportunity for developing leaders, which I think, George, you'd agree, we're all developing leaders, to level up. It's a 4-month group coaching program. You can see some of the information on there. Visit iocollaborative.com for more information, but strongly recommend Carrie. We've been blessed to have many subject matter experts on this program, and prior today, Carrie Hobbs is no different. In her world, if you want to level up as a leader, this is a great opportunity for you.
And this show is really meant to help people and also help people on platforms help others get better. If you take a look at our YouTube videos that we're actually going live as well as Facebook, there is a sequential back all the way to episode 1, where our intent is to really help folks get better if they're in career transition, contemplating career transition. How do I start a networking program, or how do I get out there and get off the couch and stop eating the bonbons and start to walk and feel better about myself and confidence? All those people on those shows have really been helping focus to help you be a better version of yourself.
That's well said. And for those folks, just want to make sure that we reinforce again, we talk about it from time to time, but George's book, Hired, it's an award-winning book. And if you know someone who's trying to get hired, they've got to buy Hired. It's available at your local booksellers. Kirkhouse Publishing has a special deal. If you go on their website, it might be the quickest way to get a copy. You can go on Barnes & Noble, Amazon. You can see nearly 100 reviews on Amazon. So don't take our word for it. See what the impact has been for other folks. And if you don't want to wait for a hard copy, if you're old-fashioned like me and you need to have a physical copy of the book, pick one up. But if you're okay with the Kindle, you can get it fast, and you get it today right on the Kindle Unlimited.
Hey, we've had so many great authors in the past, and we will continue to have great authors, especially our next special guest, as we talk about mentoring, which is so important at any particular stage of your career. So again, another great show, Phil.
It's thanks so much for joining us, folks. Until next time, have a great weekend, everybody. Thank you so much. Remember to achieve forward and
get better.